We're going to have Dan Repay at 7:30. We'll be right back, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region.
JED's Garden Family Restaurant, located at the corner of Klein and Ridge, is Griffith's locally owned family restaurant with a down-home feel and made-from-scratch favorites you will love. Open daily from 5 a.m. to midnight, JED's has you covered with breakfast omelets, salads, stir-fry, seafood, and steak sandwiches. In addition to our award-winning lemon rice soup, 4 additional soups are served daily. Along with our recently expanded spirits menu, Mondays are half-price margaritas, and Wednesdays are $1 off domestics. Mention WJOB for 20% off your order. We'll see you at JED's at the corner of Klein and Ridge.
Everything Italian. That's what you get at Giuseppe's Restaurant in Cherville.
Hi, this is Joe from Giuseppe's Everything Italian. Here today to let our friends and listeners to WJOB know about the few things that we have added. We offer catering now, catering for your party, family event, or even for businesses. Just give us a call at Giuseppe's at 322-0011 and ask for Joe. Thank you.
Giuseppe's Everything Italian is located at 1000 Eagle Ridge Drive in Cherville, just north of the Showplace Theaters. 219-322-0011 or visit giuseppespizza.net.
Hey, guys, what's going on? It's 7:21 in the Calumet region. We're a little behind here. Let's hit it. Let's go to traffic, brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda. 294 around the city is a problem. It is a problem from 57 to 55, stop and go, and then it's a problem from the Eisenhower all the way through O'Hare. You got to be glad you're not driving O'Hare right now. You'd be in a long wait. And 80 going east and west out to Joliet looks good. Bishop Ford and Dan Ryan have gotten bad. Bishop Ford is stop and go from Sibley all the way through the merge and onto the southern end of the Dan Ryan. It doesn't open up until 76th Street. And then it's actually not too bad north of that. Skyway and the toll road look good. Eastbound Borman. What's going on there? Somebody call us, 219-845-1100. And that would be eastbound on the Borman at Indianapolis. There is a disabled semi in the center lane of the eastbound Borman, and that is backing things all the way up to Torrance. So Indianapolis to Torrance going eastbound toward Porter County. Westbound on the Borman, no gapers to the lake quite yet, but you got to watch out for that, but it's moving along well. I-65 moved along well. US 30 looking okay. Klein Avenue is moving northbound, but you really got to watch out for a huge pothole on the right lane as you approach Gary Avenue or the Indiana Toll Road entrance exit there. And we had some big numbers on flat tires there, maybe even some broken axles. And some of those people are still off to the side, but you can get through there on Klein Avenue according to our latest. If you have any traffic, all you got to do is bring it to us at 219-845-1100. You can also send us a Hey Jed message, and we will play that as it comes in. Ryan, will you check those, by the way? Yeah, and there it is. We got all this going on. Northcott Avenue closed. We're going to have Dan Repay in about 10 minutes, and he's going to, executive director of the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission. He's going to give us an update on where the rain is. It got real dark here, as you guys can see if you're watching. And there's some more rain coming. We'll get an update from Dan, and he'll give us the latest on any possible closures in and around the Little Calumet River. Hey, there's a lot of stuff going on with Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod, and let's talk to Doctor right now. You know, Doctor, I don't know what your last name is right now. You want to give us the correct version?
It is Allen McLeod, and that's because people know me as Vanessa Allen for the past 30, 40 years, and I recently got married. Well, not recently. It'll be a year in May that I've been married to Anthony McLeod Sr. So I just, you can still call me Vanessa, period.
Well, that's what Ryan put up on the board. He's like, man, I don't know if she's Allen or McLeod or whatever. So he put up Dr. Vanessa, and I just like, you know what? Let's get it accurate here. So what's going on? You have some stuff going on. Let's talk about it.
I have a lot of things going on. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. Hey, Verly.
Good morning, Vanessa. I could call her Vanessa.
That's right. That's right. We have a lot of things going on, and I want the community to know that the Urban League of Northwest Indiana serves Lake Porter and LaPorte counties, first of all. Sometimes people think it's just the Gary Urban League, but we have scholarship opportunities available right now for students, scholarships online. There is a $1,000 scholarship that Horizon Bank is offering for any student in Lake Porter or LaPorte County. So that means any high school graduating student in Hammond or East Chicago can apply for this $1,000 Horizon Bank scholarship. We have First Midwest Bank that's offering $1,000 to a student that has a special needs student, a student with disabilities that has been identified through school. That's $1,000 for any student in Hammond, East Chicago, Griffith, anywhere. So I want parents to know, and there are many others. I don't want to name all of them, but if they go to our website or call the office, 887-9621, we can talk about a number of scholarships. Joseph Trent Morrow, their monies are held by the Legacy Foundation. He offers 2 scholarships in the amount of $2,500 for a student that graduates from Gary, East Chicago, or Hammond. Only $2,500. I just want your listening audience to know that these scholarships are available and they can go on our website, because if anyone has had children that have graduated, you know we need money and we need it quick to get our students into school.
What's the website, Vanessa?
Oh, website is www.ulofs as in Frank, NWI.org, which actually stands for Urban League of Northwest Indiana. So it's www.ulofnwi.org. And those scholarships are up now, and they're available up until March 26th.
All right, and what's you said that number real quick, 887 what?
9621.
Okay, so, and we've asked Vanessa to talk about this because there's money available. I know a lot of people are like, man, how am I going to go to school? And, you know, every little bit helps. There are a lot of local scholarships, especially you don't realize that there's actually some that are pointed toward Gary, Hammond, East Chicago, and toward minority communities. And you got to do the research. I know parents get a little, Dr. McLeod, the parents get a little overwhelmed or intimidated by doing this research. And what do you say to those parents?
Don't get overwhelmed. The best is yet to come. When you can see your child graduating from high school and there are monies available, I would say make sure your child is ready. The children need to have their transcript. They need to have 2 letters of recommendation, and they need to have their SAT or ACT scores, and they need to be able to upload their essay on why they want this scholarship. For instance, NIPSCO is offering a scholarship in honor of Carolyn B. Mosby. She's the late Senator Carolyn B. Mosby, who was hired by NIPSCO. They're offering $1,000 to about 5 or 6 students from East Chicago, Hammond, or Maryville, or Gary. So parents, don't get overwhelmed. You've already brought them 18 years, and they're right at the point to cross over. So just get some oxygen and push them over the hump so that they can get out of your house, go to college, and be productive citizens.
And come back.
And call me. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the other part. Do you know how many people that have taken scholarships like this are contributing to the economy of greater Indianapolis? Don't get me started on that. Hey, we got to move on to another one. Speaking of Indianapolis, you got some buses going down. Tell us about it.
Yes. House Bill 1315 is a bill that we are not satisfied with. It would take away the power from our Gary Community School Corporation School Board. So buses are leaving the village at 5:30 a.m. on this Thursday, February 22nd. The village is located around, 37th and Grant Street. We will be leaving 5:30 a.m. in order to get to the 9 a.m. appropriations meeting in Indianapolis, and we will be returning, leaving Indianapolis about 2 or 2:30, coming back. So we're asking all of you, those of you who are who understand what's happening when they try to take away the rights of the school board. If it happens here, it could happen anywhere. Those of you who live in East Chicago, Hammond, Maryville, we're at Crown Point. Some of you were raised and born in Gary, and I just hope that you will still come and support this effort to stop this House Bill 1315. Call my office again if you have any question. That bus is leaving 5:30 a.m. this Thursday from the Village Shopping Center.
Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod is of the Urban League of Northwest Indiana. Vanessa, why is it such a big deal that to oppose taking away the Gary School Board?
Well, personally, we elected the school board, and the community has a voice on the school board through the school board members. If you take that voice away, where is the collaboration? There's no opportunity. That just takes the power away, I believe, from the people. Where is that collaboration between the people and currently the emergency manager, which is Peggy Hinckley? I feel that it's disenfranchising our community. I think our community is just being targeted, just like we have a number of other issues that are going on. That's not only issues that citizens have brought up, but it's coming from the state. So House Bill 1315 will minimize our elected school board, and it'll just turn them into an advisory board.
Okay. With all due respect, the Gary School Board, not any one person or any one unit of years, but just does not have a stellar record of managing the Gary schools. And that's going to be a tough sell to some of these people downstate.
You are absolutely right. I'm not going to disagree with you. I stand on both sides saying if we're going to fight for this, we also need to make sure that we vet the people that we put in place to represent us. People need to be knowledgeable. They need to be for the students, and they need to be able to listen to the concerns of the community. So we need to do a better job with that, not only with the school board, but in the local election, everything. We need to do a better job of coming out and voting, and we need to do a better job of making sure we understand who we're putting in office, and not put anyone in office just because of their name, but put them in office because of what they fight for, what they know, and what they're willing to do for the community. So we need to do a better job at that all over. It's not just the school board.
So let's just look at this. Let's just say you guys are unsuccessful and they're able to abolish the Gary School Board. What then?
Well, I'm thinking that we will not be unsuccessful. We're going down there ready to state our arguments to say this is something that should not be done. It's enough of us going, the people are going to say, do not do this to the Gary Community School Corporation or Muncie or any place else. Why take our power? Learn how to get along with us moving forward so that we can work together. Yes, we've already been in a school takeover. We know that we have an emergency manager in place, but let us not cut the power of the people. Let's stand up and let's talk about this. And I believe we're going to win. If there was a thought in my mind that we would not, then I wouldn't be on this bus. So I'm encouraging everybody to get on the bus. We need to start being more proactive about our rights and protecting our rights.
Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod, a newlywed, and and you can get her at 887-9621. Also check it out of ulofnwi.org on both those scholarships we talked about, and about if you got any questions or you want to be on the bus or anything, just give her a call over there, 887-9621. Vanessa, thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You guys, 734 in the Calumet region. Guess what's up next? And that is that we're going to talk to Dan Repay about the flood watch and about the closure of the Northcott Avenue Bridge. And he's going to give us an update on where we are, where our areas of concern are. It's very dark behind us here, behind Verley and myself. And I'll ask Jimmy Mullaney during the break to put the camera on the road outside in case you're somewhere else in America or whatever and you can't see outside. It's raining pretty hard. It's dark out. We're looking at that all day long, and we already have a ton of areas that have some beginning of flooding, and we'll catch up on those right after this.
Eduardo's Natural Pizza in Munster has built a reputation for serving the finest Chicago-style stuffed pizza, loaded with fresh and natural ingredients. Not interested in stuffed pizza? Eduardo's has the best thin crust pizza, appetizers, salads, pastas, and more. Pick up a half-baked pizza from Eduardo's to take home and bake at your convenience. It's the perfect solution for those hectic nights. Eduardo's is located at 7920 Calumet Avenue in Munster. Dine in or carry out by calling 836-2010.
If you've been arrested or convicted of a crime in the state of Indiana, listen up. You need legal counsel. Doesn't it make sense to call an attorney who not only knows the law, but who knows the system? I'm Nicole Bennett, a former deputy Lake County prosecutor. I do know the system and how to help you with your criminal case. From traffic tickets to cleaning up your driving record to obtaining specialized driving privileges under the new 2015 Indiana law and misdemeanor and felony charges. And as many of you have experienced, I can even have your criminal record erased. Call me at Westland and Bennett in Cherville, 219-440-7550. Again, 219-440-7550.
Flu season got you down? Just left the doctor's office and don't want to wait in line at the pharmacy? Hi, this is Ellen from Quick Scripts Pharmacy inviting you to stop into any one of our 3 locations to experience our fast and friendly service to get you out the door and feeling better faster. We accept all insurances, have free local delivery, on-site one-on-one pharmacist consultations, and competitive pricing on generics and over-the-counter products. We are located in downtown Lansing, Illinois, downtown Griffith, Indiana, and our newest location off of 231 in Parrish Avenue in St. John, Indiana. Stop in today.
For generations, you've trusted Edgewater Systems to provide compassionate, high-quality care. As the science of behavioral health has evolved, it's revealed the important connection between physical and behavioral health. With this in mind, we're pleased to introduce Edgewater Health, which includes primary care, in addition to our long-standing mental health and addiction services. Whichever combination of services you need, Edgewater Health is here for you for your whole life. Learn more at edgewaterhealth.org.
Ogren Insurance has been serving the area since 1947 and provides insurance for life, home, auto, business, and more. If you're looking for one-on-one service, the best rates, knowledge, and experience, Ogren Insurance is your agency. Our number one goal is to provide you with the coverage you need at the most competitive price. To learn about the insurance solutions and services we offer in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or see our website, OgrenInsurance.com. Ogren Insurance, 6929 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Accidents happen. Be protected with Ogren Insurance.
All right. I'm not eating on the air, but I was eating during the break, and that is the last final choose. And I know Barb Angiano, who works for WVPE out of Elkhart, who learned how to do radio here. And, I was her initial mentor. She says that if she is, what's that? Ryan too. And she says if she was eating at her job in Elkhart, Indiana, she would get fired. So here's to you, Barb. You going to turn your mic on?
There's a difference between being an employee and being the owner of the station.
Oh, is there really? Hey, you know what? People are just so uptight, man. You know how many people come up to me and say, man, I love listening to your show, but, I can't take you eating on the air. I'm like, dude, I'm on the air like 20 hours a week off and on. I got to eat, you know what I mean? So just get, lighten up.
To eat during the breaks, Jim. I'm sorry.
Lighten
Nobody
up.
wants to hear you chewing in the background.
Lighten up, Francis. 294 around the city looks pretty good up until Cicero, and then it's a nightmare all the way to O'Hare off and on. Don't go that way if you can avoid it. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. Bishop Ford on the southern end of the Dan Ryan. These cars are parked. Bishop Ford's a mess. And you are looking at a long ride up the Bishop Ford. Just stay with us. We'll keep you entertained for the next 21 minutes. Plus, we're going to have Dan Repay any second here to update us on the Little Cow.
There is so much red on that map. Even those little spots.
Yeah, it's all over the place right now. Part of that is flooding, but the big one is eastbound on the Borman near Indianapolis Boulevard. You had a truck stalled in the middle lanes, and that is backing things all the way up until back to the Bishop Ford. So That's a problem if you're coming from Illinois into Indiana on the Borman. And if you know anybody, tell them try to take another way. Unbelievably, I-65 is wide open. So is US 30. Klein Avenue is moving. Although you must understand that there is a massive pothole in the right lane of northbound Klein Avenue, right by the Indiana Toll Road. And you got to get away from that and don't go that way. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving NWI from Torrance Avenue. Let's take a look at what's going on in the weather, and that is a big question. We've got rain off and on all day, and that'll be 1.5 to 4 inches and maybe even more in some spots. And Repay is going to give us a Ryan, I think that's him calling right there. And Repay is going to give us an update here in just a minute. But right now, because of the rain and because the ground is frozen and because we had the big thaw, Northcott Avenue is closed. Little Calumet River looks really high. So does the Hart Ditch, which feeds to it. And you've got spots that are pretty high in Dyer and in Griffith and in Hobart. All that stuff feeds Chicago Heights, feeding all the way down to the Little Calumet River. We'll keep an eye on it all day long. And in terms of the weather, it gets up to 64 degrees, rather balmy out right now. And rain should taper off this evening. And ultimately, you will, Dan Repay at 7:45. Ultimately, you will have the rain just kind of stop, and then everything should freeze overnight. And you get a high of about 30 tomorrow and gets down into the 20s for most of the day tomorrow. Partly sunny. Then Thursday, high of 39, partly sunny. And then by Friday, high of 46, mostly cloudy. Get a little bit of rain again on Saturday. Your big danger will be this evening, and we'll keep an eye on it all. And Ron Harlow will be here with the afternoon fix. Weather brought to you by our good friends at CertifiedElectrician.com. Hey, if you need electrical work done, just start there. Go to CertifiedElectrician.com. You get a union-based contractor, and you'll get it done. Let's talk to Sheila on line 2. Verly Suggs and I are here because it's Tuesday. Hey, Sheila, how are you?
Good morning, Jed. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's going on?
Okay, so Westlake, Fifth Pond has already overflowed and is in the street. The town's already out here.
All right, so you go into West Lakes, and you have all of those, like soccer. You go past Chuck Muncie's, Reverend Muncie's church, and then you have the soccer fields on the left. I'm just drawing a blank on where the pond is.
Okay, there's, I believe there's 5 ponds back there. The last pond is all the way in the back in the third phase. At the end of my street is the bean field, and then we have Dyer. So last time Munster, the little Cal flood, our pond overflowed, and there was 4 feet of water at the corner, fish swimming in the street. So we have already overflowed. The rest of the ponds are, definitely up high, but they put a special pump in after Munster's flood because this happened, and now we've overflowed again.
So it's kind of on the south end of West Lakes is where you're pointing to.
Most definitely, south end.
And so the last time it did it like that was the 2008 flood. I hope this is not a harbinger of things to come.
No, and they did put a special pump or something in the back, but it didn't help.
All right. Well, keep us updated. Thank you, Sheila.
Oh, thanks, Chad.
Talk to you. Hey, let's go to Dave.
I'm just going to speak for Miller right now, but westbound 8094 is moving extremely well from I-65 to 394. So everyone's being respectful and doing the speed limit, maybe a little more, but everything's moving well westbound. Grand Boulevard, there's a pedestrian bridge on Grand Boulevard in Miller. There's over a foot of water. If you have a truck, you can make it. A car, I wouldn't suggest. Isolated areas of 12 east and west and 20 east and west. High water in low spots. So I'm sure that's going to be like the broken record of the day. Just high water in various spots. If there's a low spot, if you normally go through a certain area on your way to work, you might want to think, is there a low spot, and not go that way. And that's, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of standing high water. I mean, high water like a foot to 15 inches in areas of Miller. So be careful and make sure you don't run into it with your Prius.
And right there, thanks a lot. Mad Mac, what's up? You get a mulligan, go.
Hey, MX is out there taking some pictures. He's going to post them on MX Cartoons later. Hey, I did talk to your girl, Barb. She works for an NPR station, so their standards are a little different than what you guys got going. But she did mention that, like, eating on the air, yeah, immediate dismissal. And she said, like, if McDermott said that on the air, he's done. And then if you blurted out, anybody who voted for Trump is a racist, that's out too. So you might want to try to raise your standards here, Jimmy, a little to compete with the competition, huh?
It's odd that you mention that because my whole life I have wanted to compete with NPR and their standards of intellectualism, and perhaps I'll have
chance of that, Jimmy.
Perhaps I'll have to rearrange.
And the main thing that he forgot to mention is they wouldn't accept callers like him.
Talk to Chief. Chief, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Which chief is this? That's all it says up there is Chief.
Just Chief. Chief is fine.
All right, Chief. So what's going on?
South of Route 30 on Taft going into the government complex. There's 2 foot of water. The whole street is barricaded off. You can't get in through there.
All right, hold on a second. South of Route 30 on Taft, which is like Cleveland, Taft.
Taft, Maine. It turns into Maine when you get into Crown Point.
All right, so that would affect a lot of people going into the government complex off of 30.
Well,
exactly.
Also, it affects Our Lady of Consolation Church. It affects the mental health facility over there.
Right.
And those subdivisions that are on both sides.
Right, by the Croatian Center and the Serbian Church and all that. Yeah. You can't get through there, and then even if you're going north from the government complex, they're making you turn around and go to either Maryville Road or take the back road on the west side of the government complex.
So what's flooding over there?
You know what? I think it's just coming from the subdivisions, and those small ditches are overflown.
Mm-hmm. Those retention ponds are just not doing it too?
Exactly.
All right. Hey, Chief, thanks a lot. I'm surprised that you're getting flooding over there big time. Thanks a lot. Talk to you.
Okay. Take care.
All right, guys. The executive director of the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission is on line one. That's Dan Repay. Hey, Dan, where are you now, buddy?
I seem to always go back to Highland Public Works because I just have to pull over and talk from there. So it's easier for me to do this.
All right. Hey, Dan, as I did a Facebook Live early at about 5:15 this morning from the Northcott Avenue Bridge. That's been closed since about 2 in the morning. Any change in the situation?
No change in the situation there. We're still monitoring Bernice Road. We're still monitoring Kennedy Avenue. I went to Colfax, Calhoun. There's some water going over the top. At Calhoun, it's going over the top of the road. Clark Street is getting there to a situation. Went all the way to Grant, Broadway, Harrison. So those are all checking out okay for now, but that's usual because it really widens as it goes east, but eventually it will become a issue later on today. So I spoke with the Army Corps of Engineers. They generally, during situations like this, open a central command or an operations center. They're going to send a team of people down here to assist with some coordination and some advice, which is always welcome. And we'll just go from there, and we'll be back at it because there's still more storms to come. I was listening to you while I was driving, and you said all of a sudden it got dark and it rained really quick, and that's just going to be the story of today. So nothing's new is closed, and just as a general thought, if you have water in your backyard, the Public Works departments all know about that. Everyone has water in their backyard, so just be patient, and we're going to try to keep as many roads open as possible for as long as we can keep people safe here from flooding. So that's what our main objective. I know Bernie Zeman's coming on later on with the Highland Show. He's going to have some updates as well.
Hey, Dan, let's talk a little bit about the timing. The rain is been heavy overnight, and it's going to continue to be heavy through portions of the day. How long before this water reaches up here to the Little Cal? I mean, what do you see as what are the projections that you're seeing as kind of being the high point?
Well, if anyone goes to our website and you guys can link it or whatever, it's littlecamatriverbasin.org. If you go to the website and we have all the gauges that we monitor, the one that if you're living in Highland, Hammond, Munster, even Gary for that matter, you're looking at the Dyer gauge. It's a Hart Street Dyer gauge, and that's the one. Once you see that finally crest, then it's a rough estimate, but you have 9 hours before it finally crests everywhere else. I mean, this is a little bit of a different setup with the frozen ground, so it may be 7 hours, but generally the rule of thumb is 9. And so that's what you want to see. You want to see that gauge start going down, because until that gauge starts coming down, we're going to keep on getting more water to the north. I mean, and that's, Dyer's battling that water as well. So that's the gauge that you should look at. Most importantly, as far as long term, short term, look at the gauge. We have gauges all across the system that is closest to your house. And that will give you some indication as well.
All right, I'm looking at the Highland gauge right now, and it's just really kind of weird to look at because it shows the, I guess the gauge height just kind of bumping around at about 8, and then it gets up to about 9, and then it just about 13.
You'll see it keep going up, but at a different angle, maybe a 45-degree angle. But just for indications, I believe 15.5. Feet. So it's at 13 some odd. I think it's 1366 or something. At 15.5, depending on Kennedy Avenue, dependent on if it's still going to rain or if Dyer's already crested. So there's some factors and some wiggle room. But at 15.5, I believe, if my memory is correct, that would trigger a closure of Kennedy Avenue.
Hey, I'm looking at a National Weather Service flood watch, and they are putting out, hey, it's time for, if you're in areas, I'll just give you what they're saying. It says, the ground remains frozen, therefore much of the rain will result in rapid runoff and rivers. And what they're saying is that a flood watch means there's a potential
You're breaking up on me. Okay. I can't hear for whatever reason. It's coming in broken, so I didn't hear the question.
Okay, the question is the National Weather Service is saying that those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. Do you want to add anything to that?
I'm catching a little bit of it. Besides, I think you said that if people are low or flood-prone areas should be ready to take action. Remember, we go back to 2008 as always the benchmark. A lot of improvements have been made to the system since 2008, and I would just say stay tuned to you guys, WJOB, and other stations. If there's a need, we have methods to do that, the residents and the businesses. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about that just quite yet, and let's just hope for a couple dry spells, and we'll do better.
Thanks a lot. Dan Repay keeping us updated. Thanks, Dan.
Okay, thank you.
That level of anxiety, you know what I mean? Just think about all the people that are sitting here just kind of glued to the Facebook Live or Twitter or YouTube video and or listening on AM or FM radio that have lived through the floods already. And you got to believe that they're just like, oh, my gosh, just feeling it all over again.
Yeah, 10 years later.
Yeah.
I was driving down 8094 and just imagining what it was like back then when the whole highway was shut down because of the flooding.
It's Tuesday. Verley's with me. Let's go to Kenny on line 3. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Hey, good, Jim. How you doing? Hi, Verley. How are
Hi,
you?
Kenny.
Good, good. Hey, Jim, I was just curious. I was laying in bed this morning. I'm like, you know what? I wonder if the grows in. So I just went out there with a 4-foot prober, and I went all the way down. So I think that's kind of a good thing, with the at least the water is going down a little bit. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
good because
If
the
it was
weather's so
completely
warm
frozen,
that's good.
it would be bad.
Yeah.
You know what, Kenny? I gotta take issue with that just from having worked as a laborer all those years. You know what? It's spotty. There are parts that get warmer than others, and then you might go
Yeah.
to some spots and you're down 6 inches, and you're like, dude, this is entirely frozen. And I gotta believe that there's not a lot of absorption going on right now. You don't have the roots of developed of the grass, the weeds, and all that. And it's been so. Remember, it was so cold for so long, as recently as this weekend, and I believe that it's still pretty frozen, is my guess.
Yeah, it's like harder, a lot longer. We got pretty good soil down here in Highland, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in.
How far away from the river are you?
You know what? A stone's throw. Shoot, I'm probably maybe 1,000 yards or something like that. Maybe not even that.
Thanks for saying shoot, by the way.
What? I'm sorry?
Thanks for saying shoot.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. No, I know better.
When you said I'm like, oh, here comes Eastside. Good hearing from you, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Okay, guys. Everybody hunker down, man. We'll be all right.
Yeah, 7:56 in the Calumet region. And don't forget, we are going to do the sectionals and the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. It's all one big blowout package. And the sectionals and regionals and semi-state and basketball, we plan to do on video in conjunction with Region Sports Network. So if you want to help us sponsor that and make sure that we got enough money to pay everybody, give Ryan a call at 844-1230 or email him at ryan@wjob1230.com. I think we have time for one more phone call, and that'll be Zube, and then we will take MX. He is at the Northcott Bridge. Zube, what's going on?
Not much. You are breaking up quite a bit. I don't know if that has to do with the rain, the weather, or whatever, but you're a little choppy. I don't know if I sound choppy back to you.
You mean on the radio or on the phone?
On both. When you were talking with Dan Ripe, your last-minute conversation was real broken up and choppy, and on hold just now it was choppy.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get it. And you know what? I actually talked to the guys from NITCO yesterday, and what happens in estimation is that the infrastructure for Comcast and all the cable lines are pretty old here. We bought a bunch of internet. We pay a ton of money, but I think that the infrastructure is old or super wet. We have had problems in the past, and I sure as hell hope that's not happening right now. Anyways, are you keeping an eye on this? Am I chopping?
Yeah.
All right, a little bit. But I'm going to go nuts if we get wet again and Comcast does not come into the older areas and replace their infrastructure. I'm just going to go ballistic that I got to deal with this in this day and age. I'm here in this massive, brand new complex, $5 million facility. I bought hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment here. I'm stuck with Comcast, and now it's starting to rain, and people need emergency information, and they got bull crap equipment around here. All right, anyways, why don't you take me off of that? What were you calling about?
All right. Before it goes choppy, no, I'm actually taking a ride now. I just dropped the kid out of school. I'm on Indianapolis Boulevard going north. We're going to go over the river and see what it looks like on Indianapolis Boulevard. I'm going to hop on the Borman, get off on Kennedy, and see how that looks.
Kennedy's evidently
I got a bad feeling, man. It seems like the perfect storm once again. You know what I mean? The ground's still frozen. The snow's melting. If we get all this rain, they're going to call for it today. Seems like the perfect storm once again.
You know what, Zube? I trust your intuitions and your gut instinct, but I sure as heck hope you're wrong on this one. I really do.
I do too. I hope they did it right when they rebuilt those levees. That's all I'm saying.
All right, buddy. Talk to you. Speaking of levees, MX is out there. MX, what's going on?
Well, I went through all three places, Indianapolis Boulevard and Kennedy, and I ended up at Northcott, and WGN is there. The water is touching the bridge on the south side of Northcott Bridge. It's about, at the most, 6 inches in the middle from hitting the bridge altogether. So the water has connected the bridge. I've got the pictures. I'm going to post them as soon as I find the internet because I don't have one of them kind of phones. So I'm going to let you go, Jed, and post these pictures.
All right, hey, thank you. And I'll give you guys an update on that. I was there at about 5:10, 5:15 this morning, and I could not get the camera. I did a Facebook Live video, and you could go watch it. And I tried to look at it, but it was about 2 feet under the bridge. He's saying it's touching the bridge, so it has risen. And you can see that on the graphs here. Really, this graph, it's going straight up, man.
I know. And this is one of those mornings I said, man, I should just stay home and let them focus on this water rising because this is the most important issue right now, especially for people who live along that area, but people even who commute back and forth and just have concern for others. It's really an issue that we should be worried about.
Do you know how many comments I would take if you don't show up on Tuesday? Doesn't matter what's going on.
This guy that's texting me right now, initials MX, MM, not MX, but Mad Mac, would probably be very happy if I wasn't here. But I just got to say this as I close. Today is will be the deciding day for some people whether or not they win an election because today's the lottery for ballot placement. And that's taking place at the government complex. And also, the phenomena that took place this past weekend that we didn't even get to discuss was the opening of the Black Panther movie, which is phenomenal. Everybody go see that movie.
I might slip out there. It was one of the top 5 grossing ever.
208 million. I think 211.8 million.
Wow, that's just. I saw that by Sunday morning. It was already 175 million. That's just
fantastic.
Nuts. You know what? Thank you, Verlee, so much.
Thanks,
Ryan
Jim.
wants me to take one more phone call, and I will take Dave on local 599 phone line. Hey, Dave, what's up?
Jim, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good. What's going on?
We've got an average Midwest weather event, and we're talking about that river flooding. Are you kidding me? We've got 2 inches of rain. What happens when we're going to have a 4, 5, or 6 inch catastrophic rain? We've got 2 inches of rain, and we're all paying a tax to keep that river in order since 2009 or 2010 when that tax went into place. And we're still talking about the river possibly flooding with 2 inches of rain. Are you kidding me? This is what we're talking about.
Dave, I got to move on right now, but thanks for that comment. Let's pick that up tomorrow and put it in perspective. Thank you so much.
When is Ripe and Baker back in?
One thing about Mother Nature, no matter how much money you invest, you can't contain it.
Oh, all right. Thanks a lot, Dave. All right. I got to hit it. I've got a paid program starting in about 90 seconds, and that'll be